Everyone, it's Mr. Rops.
And Mrs. Flynn.
Right, we are here to solve some more quadratics. However, this time we don't know which method is going to be the most appropriate method, and the quadratics aren't always set up nice and easy for us. So let's consider this first one. We've got x squared equal to 2x plus 48.
All right, so first let's go ahead and just move everything over to one side.
Because when we solve quadratics, we always want to make it equal to 0 on one side, so that we can use the null factor property, or the zero law property thing, with the two things multiply to get 0.
Well, right away I recognize that this 48 has a factor of 6 and 8.
Oh, I can put those together somehow to get a -2, which is the value in the middle.
This one's easy.
Right, so I would say -8 and a +6.
Equals 0.
Equals
and
0.
Obviously if we have one number times another number and they equal 0, either x minus 8 equals 0 or x plus 6 equals 0.
And so then we get x to be 8 or -6.
Moving slow for me. Okay. Or x equals -6.
Okay, super. So there we go. And we could check that by graphing it or by going to Wolfram Alpha, but I think we're checking each other's work as we're doing it. I think it's all good. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Now this one, we already have it set equal to 0, so that's good. And I got a coefficient of 3 in front. So
we remember with our factoring, we kind of did these circles, 3 and 1. We'd have -1 and 1 here.
Right.
And when we match those,
right, we're thinking about, could we get somehow, when we multiply them together and trying to get the x be the +1 from that x?
Doesn't really work.
No.
Not an easy one to factor.
No. So my approach whenever I come to these is I look at them and I think, can I factor it? And if I do some quick mental math, if I can figure it out quickly, then I go for factoring. If I doesn't factor quickly, I don't waste my time trying to find a factor. I'll go straight to quadratic formula, or if I have my calculator, I'll use my calculator.
All right.
Let's use the calculator, since that takes less thinking sometimes. So we'll just go.
Y equals 3x squared plus x minus 1. And
let's graph it and see what it looks like before we get into it. All right, so there we go.
So we know our solutions are going to be somewhere right here and somewhere right here.
Right. So if we go second trace, which is our calculate menu, and we hit number 2, which is a 0, now it's asking us for our lower bound. If we find the one on the left first, or the left bound, we can toggle over to the left of that value, hit enter, or we can toggle over into the right, or we can just hit 0 as well, and that'll bring us over to that spot. So I know it's going to be somewhere between those values, and then I have to guess.
Oops.
And I get -768.
Not a very pretty number.
No.
But x is approximately equal to -0.768.
Okay.
Or
we find the other value. Go through the 0 again. Left bound, let's just guess 0. We can just type in 0 if we want. And I know it's going to be the right bound is somewhere 1 or 2. You can put anything over there and be fine.
we can put in 1 then.
Yep. And somewhere in the middle I can guess like 0.5. Let's see what we get. So positive 0.434.
All right.
And so there are our two solutions for that. We could also have done quadratic formula if we wanted to, but calculator works just as nice.
All right, here we go, last one.
Oh, what are we going to do for this one? We got x minus 3 squared equal to 9.
Well, I think the first thing is we should probably simplify this.
Right.
So let's factor out. We have x squared minus 6x plus 9.
Nice.
Equals 9.
All right, so we always have to make it equal to 0 on one side of the equation.
So let's subtract 9 here, subtract 9 here. So now I have x squared minus 6x equals 0.
Oh, we can factor that one. That's the easiest
Take out an
one.
x.
Common factor, there we go.
X minus 6 equals 0. And using our null property, either x equals 0 or x minus 6 equals 0, which gives us just to be x 6.
Great, so we get two answers, x equals 0 and x equals 6.
Now, is there another way that we could have done that?
I'm sure there probably is. Let's consider, well, I know x minus 3 squared equals 9. And this is a really nice situation that I could take the square root of both sides because 9 is a perfect square.
Right.
Or I guess because it doesn't matter, it would have to be a perfect square or not.
So I take the square root. Take the square root of this side, the square root of this side, so I have x minus 3 equals the square root of 9 is plus or minus.
Right, plus or minus 3.
So then we have...
And we have to remember the plus or minus.
Equals positive 3 or x minus 3 equals negative 3. This gets us x equals 0.
Oh, 6 on that side.
X equals 6.
Yep.
Or x equals 0. There's a 0.
All right, that's the same answer as what we had before. So if you see that little trick, this way is actually a little bit easier, but it's not necessary that you see it. So it's all about choosing the right scenario for whatever the problem is, and then you just solve using the skills that you know. I think that sums it up.